In today's episode, we are going to be talking about one of the biggest questions amongst guys. Because 99% of you that are watching are guys. Shout out to the 1% of queens that are watching. We appreciate you. Does size matter? Get your mind out of the gutter. What's going on, you guys? My name is Cisco, and today we are going to be comparing lengths. Boaz, come here.
No, I need to film the video.
Come here, Boaz.
I'm telling you, I need to film this
Come
video.
here. I need you in front of camera. Come here.
What do you want?
Get on your knees.
No.
Get on your knees, Boaz.
One thing that I have noticed throughout my years of playing, whether it's my personal collection of guns or other players' guns as well, is that the classification of barrel lengths is different from the real gun world to the airsoft world.
What?
Just let me explain. So, for example, in the real gun world, any barrel length, let's say 16 inches to 20 inches, it would be considered like a full-length rifle, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And then any barrel length, let's say 13.5 inches to 14.5 inches, we consider that like a carbine length.
Yes.
Okay, yeah? Still tracking?
Yep.
And then anything from, let's say, like 11.5, 10 inches, or anything, let's even say like a 6-inch, 9-inch, whatever rifles are coming out with nowadays, we would consider that short-barreled rifle, SBR, or pistol category.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, right.
For civilian class,
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, hear me out. For airsoft, it is one size shorter.
What are you talking about?
Again, let me explain. So, 16 to 20 inch barrel length. We would start using that barrel length for, let's say, DMRs or snipers. It's a little bit above, let's say, like a rifle category.
Okay. Yeah.
And then 14.5, 13.5, we would consider that like a rifle length. Like if you wanted like a quote unquote like full size outdoor rifle, outdoor exclusive gun, you would have 14.5 to 13.5 inch barrel length.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Right.
Yeah. And then 10 inches to 11.5, 12 inch barrel, we consider that like a carbine length, like a mid-length gun, where you can kind of go indoor CQB or outdoor. It's good at doing both.
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
Right? And then anything shorter than that, we would consider that like a submachine gun, you know, like exclusive, like almost like a pistol class where you're only supposed to use it indoors. Don't tell me that I'm not making sense right now. I am making perfect sense right now.
I hate to admit that you are.
Yeah,
but
so it's one size smaller.
Yeah, but in airsoft, it's different from real firearms because with a barrel length in airsoft, you know, even though we've talked about it before where a longer barrel can increase your accuracy and range, it's very minute. It's like only a small gap that it's going to increase it.
So, yeah, so I think the reason why we classify it differently in airsoft compared to real firearms is, what you're saying is barrel length is actually not as important as real firearms because with real guns, you need the barrel length to increase your muzzle velocity and your longer range accuracy, right?
Yeah, okay,
Range, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
but
guess.
with airsoft, you don't really need the barrel length to adjust your muzzle velocity or even, dare I say, accuracy.
Yeah, I guess. For like an AEG, if you wanted to increase or decrease your FPS by like 100 FPS, you're not going to change the barrel. You're going to change the spring.
Yeah, exactly. So it's dictated by the spring with most electric guns, right? Not the barrel. The barrel will give you like a slight bump.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you don't need the extra length of barrel, you're not going to run it. You don't need it, so you're not going to run it. Which is why, again, I'm saying for airsoft, okay, it's going to be...
I like my long guns. So what is the point of this, Boaz?
So again, we're just gonna discuss, right, like what is useful for you as a player, what length works for you as a player.
Does size matter? So I wanted to talk about this in airsoft for quite some time now. I've noticed within the past several years that a lot of airsoft companies have been releasing shorter barrel rifles between 10 to 12 inches in length.
And with good reason, because I think that guns like the Mark 18 single-handedly revolutionized the airsoft market.
Boys, that is a 20-year-old gun. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So hear me out. So imagine we go back in time to 2009 to let's say about 2012.
Okay.
when you and I we started getting into airsoft, let's say, right? Majority of players out there on the airsoft field are still rocking the standard M4A1 configuration, anywhere between like 16 to 14.5 barrel length guns.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have like the CQB crowd, which are running more specialized, like shorter barrel guns.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. But when the Mark 18 specifically hit the airsoft market, I think people were starting to notice how well the guns like the Mark 18 were performing out there on the airsoft field. So you would have players that would run this outdoors on longer range engagements, and it would still do really well. Like I would say you would roughly get 20%, let's say, more accuracy on a standard M4A1.
That's fair. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But a shorter gun like this, I mean, you don't really notice the accuracy differences that much when you're playing. And so people were looking at this like, hey, like a shorter, lighter gun that doesn't get in the way as much, and it could reach out and touch people like pretty much the same distance as a standard M4. People are picking up on that. And then also in the CQB environment, right? Like this again does really well because it's shorter than the M4A1, so it's more maneuverable. So I think people are starting to realize that guns like the Mark 18 were like the perfect barrel length for airsoft.
I would agree to that because, guns like the Zion Arms R15 that we have here is a 10-inch barrel. And I would say that this fits a lot of different roles in airsoft. You can easily throw the short dot on here and take it outdoors and get the longer distance targets, comparing it to, the 14-inch carbine length. But it's short enough that you can maneuver it much easier in CQB environments.
It's like, it's actually really good to have in CQB. It just is.
Yep.
And having a gun that can do both CQB and outdoor play is huge on the airsoft market. Especially, I think, because a lot of companies are starting to include, let's say, the quick change spring technology.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think once that became like more standard practice in airsoft, I think that's when shorter guns like this really took off. Because you could literally take this outdoors, play with it, and then get like a low power spring, right? Change out your spring. You can go to CQB field, indoor field, and still rock this and have a good time with it, right? Yeah. And then you go back outdoors, change the spring again. But I think also on top of that, majority of airsofters on the market, unfortunately, can only really afford to have one airsoft gun.
Yeah. Okay. So we're all on a budget.
Yeah, and I understand how that feels because that's how I grew up playing too, right?
Yep.
It's like you just want one gun that can kind of do it all.
Yeah.
Right. So having a 12 to 10 inch barrel length airsoft gun, I think honestly is like that perfect medium where you can pretty much take it anywhere and it'll do really good.
I agree to that. I mean, we all do dream of having a wide collection of purpose-built guns in airsoft, right? But if you are limited to one, I definitely think guns like the R15 fit that role pretty well. But I mean, if we're going to expand upon it, comparing the different barrel lengths, I think if you were looking for your next gun, I think it's better to go for something more of a CQB route instead.
Gross.
Bruh, come on. I think a majority of people will benefit from a CQB rifle more compared to going long distance for their next gun.
Please explain to me why you think going CQB as a second build is better than going long range.
Okay, well, the first reason, which is probably a big reason, is cost. You can actually take a CQB gun like this R15 SBR and just hit the field with it running fantastically out of the box compared to building out a longer range airsoft gun that requires a lot more money to fine tune its long range accuracy.
Wait, but aren't most of your secondary builds long range guns anyway?
Yes, and I'm saving you guys the trouble. I know I'm a hypocrite, okay? I know I am, but this is gonna save you the headache in the long run, okay? Because the short barrel rifle, it doesn't require as much to get it field ready, okay? They're normally really accurate out of the box, maybe some minor upgrades compared to a long range gun where it's gonna require more fine tuning, especially to maximize FPS, right? With a short barrel rifle, it can be a little bit more versatile. So hear me out. Say you are playing at your outdoor airsoft field and they have a map that is a city map with a lot of buildings, a lot of tight corners. It's relatively close quarters where your engagements are going to be really close, right? You can manipulate an SBR very easy compared to a longer barrel rifle, even though, 10 to 12 inches is technically an SBR. This short barrel rifle will do it better. You're not going to have to worry about the barrel or rail clipping the corner of a wall in the doorway or having to manipulate the gun really weird. It's just more compact, less surface area for you to worry about, and be able to snapshot very easy.
I don't believe you.
It's just facts, especially indoors, CQB environment. They're normally tight quarters, right? And in a lower light scenario, which a lot of indoor fields do play, you can utilize special tools like a tracer unit or a flashlight where you can track your BBs with the tracer unit.
Okay, but you can do that with your all-around airsoft gun.
Yes, that's true, but this does it better. Now, let's say you have a sniper rifle built for long range accuracy. You have it, right? Typically, fields allow sniper rifles to have a higher FPS for maximum engagement. But those typically will have a minimum engagement distance as well, where you're not allowed to engage a target with that 500 plus FPS gun because it's going to hurt somebody. So you need a secondary, and normally it's required to have a secondary on you for those closer engagement distances because they don't want any accidents, right? Most people will go for a pistol.
Yeah.
Right? Gas blowback pistol
Yep.
can be stored in the hip. Easy, right? Here's the problem. With your sniper rifle, you are going for maximum engagement, the furthest distance possible. And then your secondary is going to be a pistol. Rinky-dink pistol where it's really close quarters. You're not going to be able to engage targets at a little bit further distances. And there's normally a engagement gap between the two.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have the furthest distance, you have the closest distance, but at an outdoor field, most of those targets are going to be right in the middle.
Yeah.
This SBR, this R15, can actually fill that role a little bit better because you are going to be getting better range, better accuracy, and more firepower compared to your pistol. With the pistol, you're going to have like a 15, a 25 round magazine. It's going to be gas powered. You got to carry additional magazines. You're very limited in what you can do with the pistol. It's literally just the backup. But with a SBR, you can actually take the fight to them. You're not limited to these two roles. You can actually fill that middle gap and just ditch the sniper rifle and go with this, especially if you just carry like a high cap magazine that holds 300 rounds and it can go full auto if your field allows full auto. You have 300 rounds compared to how many magazines do you carry on your person with the pistol?
Like 2.
Okay, so 50 rounds in a pistol compared to 300.
Okay. So you made your point about like the whole firepower thing, but what about, let's say, I already have an M4 that's like kitted out for long range.
Oh, you mean like my Mark 12?
Yes, specifically like your Mark 12.
Well, with the Mark 12, it is an M4 base. You still get the benefits of that firepower, being able to go semi-auto instead of bolt action. And it's typically going to be built for that longer range. So you're going to be following these sniper rifle rules, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still going to need a sidearm for this. The benefit of using the SBR here compared to a pistol is still the same firepower, still that same range and accuracy, but you have the shared benefit of using the same magazines. So you don't have to carry 2 sets of magazines. So if you tune both guns to the same weight BBs, if you run 3.0s, you can run 3.0s in this easily, no problem. You can just ditch this really quick, throw that on the ground, pick this bad boy up, take the same magazine, and rock the field.
Well, I guess you kind of have a point.
I'm just saying a CQB rifle can come in handy much more than a long-range rifle. Again, even though I am a hypocrite and most of my guns are built for long range, I can easily use an M4 to fill the gap and still give me a better time on the field.
I think you should put your money where your mouth is. You know what, Cisco? You should build something like this right now. You should totally blow your next paycheck and build something like this. Despite everything that I've said to like rag on this platform, I actually really like the little shorty rifle platform.
What are you talking about, boys? Your favorite length is like 11.5. Majority of your guns is built like that.
Yes, but I always have special love affairs with the small shorty little rifle platform. Okay, in fact, okay, I've taken the same Zion Arms R15, right, and I turned it into a milsim
Ew.
PDW.
What?
Okay, it looks sick.
What is that?
Alright.
Why is the bear? What is that gap? Ew.
Okay, listen. This is all I had at the moment, okay? Like at the office, okay? Like it was a very spur of the moment, spontaneous build, you know? But I just love the aesthetic of the Shorty PDW when it comes to outdoor field play. And I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, I just really want a SIG MCX Rattler. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys out there really want a Rattler too, but you know,
Fair.
SIG Air really hates making money. They're really adverse to profit, so they're not making one. So I don't know what's going on, SIG Air. Please make an MCX Rattler. But in the meantime, I just like to make MCX Rattlers at home.
Oh.
And even before all that, right? Let me talk about the Knights Armament PDW.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was such a vibe, and people would still run that outdoors. Okay, and the biggest way that people have done something like this is the mock suppressor technique, which honestly I think nowadays it's just not as well known. It's like a very OG trick. Oh, there you go, perfect example, right? We would run longer inner barrels, right, on shorter barrel guns. We'll extend the length of the inner barrel and hide it with the mock suppressor.
Yeah.
So
that is,
aesthetically it looks good because you don't want like just like a longer like barrel with a flash hider, like that looks ugly.
Yep.
Right? But with the mock suppressor it becomes a vibe.
I-
It's such a vibe. Like that's exactly what I did. I literally just took a longer inner barrel hop up unit combo, right? Just running the inner barrel all the way up to here. So you still get the same long range performance out of your airsoft gun, but just in a smaller looking, smaller feeling package. And it just feels so sick when you're on the airsoft field. Like just this aesthetic, like running this outdoors, like I don't know what it is. It's just such a vibe. And if you want to take this indoors, just take out the mock suppressor and just put on a shorter inner barrel and you're good to go.
Okay, I was just about to say, having the longer suppressor there and the longer inner barrel defeats the purpose of it being CQB. But if you were to have, that setup where you can change out the inner barrel and hop up unit easy, I've done that too. You do get the benefit.
And it feels really good in the hand. I can't explain it. Like there's no way for me to really explain. I don't know what it is. I think maybe it has to do with like even though the barrel length is the same, because the handguard is so short, everything's like more tight and compact to your body.
Yep.
I think that like it just makes it seem so cool. And especially if you guys ever get the chance to play like airsoft with vehicles. Mm-hmm. With vehicles, like stowing this like in your vehicle and just popping out with it and just clapping some people out of a vehicle, like it feels so sick. And I would even say like if you take this, let's say to like a building kind of style map, a city kind of map where most of your engagement range, like what Cisco said earlier, is usually from building to building, not that far of a distance actually. Yep. Right? You just feel more confident like breaching and going into a building with a smaller package like this.
The more you talk about it, I do like the vibe, but that barrel gap, bruh, just...
Listen. The moment that I knew that we were going to do this video and I just wanted to show something off real quick, we just couldn't find the 1-inch barrel extension, okay? So it's off by an inch. But I'm saying, like, just imagine, move a little bit in, It's like, again, the MCX Rattler, but at home.
I can't even lie, like, the way that you built this out and the way that you described it, I see this as being perfect for that very milsim CQB environment where it needs to be, really high speed, but very like tactically placed where you're pieing your corners and even getting in and out of vehicles. This comes in handy a lot.
Yeah, so. But just looking at this build, it just looks like a very purpose-built, specialized build.
Yeah.
Even though functionally this is like more like an all-arounder. Yeah. Right? It makes you look special. You're so special. Oh my gosh! Like it's just.
So would you say that this actually might be a replacement for an all-arounder?
Again, it depends on your vibe, right? Like it depends on what kind of aesthetic you're going for. Like if I put like a short dot on here, it's not gonna look good.
Yeah,
right?
True.
You need like a red dot sight, right, and like a flashlight, and for me personally, a laser unit because I just think it looks sick.
Yeah.
Right. And if you want that mock suppressor look, the aesthetic, I think this is definitely a good way to go. I would actually really respect someone if I see someone on the field rocking something like this. Yeah, because yes, functionally it is an all-rounder.
Yep.
But the aesthetic is definitely more like it's a CQB aesthetic, but yet it can still reach out and touch people.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, like I'm thinking about it more, and if you were to get a completely separate hop-up barrel assembly, inner barrel assembly, and this could actually be that replacement. So if you wanted the all-rounder, wanted to play indoors or really CQB environments or still have the range, you can change out that inner barrel really quickly, remove the mock suppressor, and still have the benefit of the compact package for CQB, but then easily just swap it back to, especially because this is a quick change, like you could easily just run it like that, still be a short barrel, and then just add this back on. I locked it, add this back on, lock into place, thank you, and then increase that barrel length, and then it still be that mid-range, like perfect package.
Yeah, so I would say that this is gonna be like a second all-rounder, right?
That's
because unlike Cisco, we don't like building the same gun over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And there's some people out there that might enjoy it. I have some friends that only builds more K-18s.
It's not that
Okay, shush. But what I'm saying is, right, like you want the same functionality but a different aesthetic.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So like for me, for example, I like having that 10 to 12 inch range because in my personal opinion, I think that's like the perfect sweet spot for barrel length. And I don't want to build the same exact gun, but I want stuff with a different aesthetic, which is why Cisco says that, like, yeah, the majority of my guns are 10 to 12 inches long, but I have different accessories, I have different furniture on it, so it feels like a different gun. But if you wanted, again, a similar function, but a different aesthetic, if you wanted to feel different when you're running it, but you're still getting the similar performance, having something like this, honestly, is kind of a way to go. Kind of the way to go.
I agree. All right, you guys, thank you for joining us for our long discussion about CQB rifles in Airsoft. Going into this video, I had a good amount of ideas that you could use a CQB rifle, but now with this, you just opened up a whole new realm of possibilities.
You know what? For a long beard like yourself, I'm glad I can do that for you.
But guys, if you are interested in a CQB rifle like the Zion Arms R15, you can grab yours right now at airsoftgi.com and get automatic free shipping and reward store credit with the Wombo combo.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm so blown away by Zion Arms. Like, they're releasing so many cool variations of all their platforms.
Yep.
Yeah, like, it's probably one of the easiest ways to get into high-performance airsoft.
Yeah.
Like, out of the box.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and just to clarify for you guys, the Wombo combo is not a coupon code. It is automatically applied for every qualifying purchase. So if your order qualifies, we do tell you on the website that you do qualify for automatic free shipping. And with every purchase you make on Airsoft GI, we do give you store credit back for additional savings on future orders. And if you guys would like to directly support the channel, help keep the lights on, help keep that camera rolling, please make sure to stop by Airsoft GI for all your airsoft needs.
Yep. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content, and let us know in the comments below what you think about CQB rifles in Airsoft.
Or any other twisted airsoft fantasies you might have.
All right. Okay. Other than that, guys, my name is Cisco.
And Boaz.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.